Hello, Seeya.
Hello
How are you?
again. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How you
Yeah.
doing?
Now we are sitting here again. Welcome. Nice to see you. And this time we will try to talk about personal
Stories,
stuff.
personal memories and stories.
Yeah, a mix of things.
There are a lot, but what we think our personal
Highlights in our lives. Dramatical or maybe funny or up. We'll see.
So I'll hand it over to you, Seeya, to start with.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Well, then I choose a story that has meant a lot of me for me, and it was when my oldest grandchild,
Adrian.
Adrian, he's 19 now, but when he was going to be baptized, it was a lovely day. His mother's family and his father's family, we were together, actually here at my house, and we were planning to have the baptizing out in the garden. It was a cloudy day, and Adrian's grandmother knew a priest from their home village that had accepted to come here and make the ceremony.
Baptism.
So it was really nice. We were about 15, 20 people out in the garden, and everything went well. But then suddenly something happened. Just at nearly the exact same moment as when the priest should give Adrian his name and put the holy water on the pan like that. At the same moment, and it's true, the cloudy sky just separated. So the sun was shining right on this house and about 2, 3, 400 meters around. The sun was shining at the same time as he got his names.
Okay.
And
the skies has opened up.
Yes, and that was not so maybe so different, but the thing was that when he had got his names, it took a few minutes. Then the cloud and the sky was closing again, so the sun disappeared and it was cloudy.
Okay, it's a natural phenomenon.
Yeah, at exactly the same moment that he got his name. And that was something really fascinating and made me think more about what I believe and not believe and like that, because I say that I don't believe in any religion. But that made me think a lot about things like that. Faith and stuff. Yeah, so it made something with me.
Right. So, if I may say, one of my experience,
Yeah, please do.
There are a lot from the childhood and all, but I would say seeing my father after so many years, because my father in 1980s when I was born, that time also he was working for the leading party in Sri Lanka. He was into politics,
Okay.
and he was the youth secretary in that province, Kandy, and at that time we had a civil unrest in the country, and there was a civil war happening. Not the terrorism, but there was a civil movement, and there was another party took weapons and they went against the government, and they were killing people who are related to government. So my
So your
father
father fled.
was also in the list. He had to flee, but he didn't flee. But he stood there. But he suddenly went to Middle East and coming back after such time, and then he went to UK. Then I met him after like so many years, and I still remember after A levels.
How many years?
It's almost like 7 to 10 years. Then he wanted me to come there for my further studies, and then I went alone, and that was my first experience also in the flight plane after doing A levels, advanced levels. I straight away did some few advanced diplomas related to computing, multimedia, animation, and graphics. Then for further studies, I went to UK. Then I met him. That feeling was really nice after seeing my father for such a long time. He was also very excited and seeing me after so many years. And that was a nice feeling at moment. Yes, that was one of my memories which I can't forget. Yes.
First time flights, new country, and seeing your father.
It's one particular event, but it has been mixed with
Many
everything.
things.
What's next in your list?
Well, I have one memory that is still fascinating. I was together with my becoming wife, Anne.
Mhm.
We were quite young, 18 years old, and we went out Europe. At that time, you could buy a ticket,
Okay.
a train ticket that lasted 1 month.
Okay.
So we were out on a kind of a train trip, and we came to Greece and took boats out to the Cyclades. That's a number of islands just southwest of Greece, south of Athens. And we came to an island called Naxos, and on that island there was a high mountain that was called Zeus, one of the gods in Greek mythology. Yeah. So I was very fond of going to climb mountains, not too big. But if that was the top of the island, I wanted to get there. So we went away, and in the morning,
It was you and your
becoming wife. Yeah, Anne. So it was only we two. We had some stuff with us. We took water with us, but it showed up that the water took an end, and we were really thirsty when we were quite a bit up at the mountain. But we still had 100 or 200 meters to go. And suddenly we saw a king eagle, the biggest one of eagles. It was circling around the top, and it was so beautiful.
Okay.
We got up to the top.
So you say like when there's an eagle, there must be water around those.
Not necessarily. It was not because of that. I think the eagle was looking for something to eat. It was just beautiful because it's so big bird. Huge. And it's so mighty just to see it. So that was a memory that was meant to be spared. But then it was the thirst. So we had to find water. So we, after being at the top, we went down again. And suddenly we heard the sound of water. So we followed the sound, and we found water coming out of a cliff, cold water. Spring water. Well, this was in the summer, so maybe not spring, but it was from the ground, fresh and cold like that. So, and we could fill our bottles and drank and took a rest there. And then we saw, when we sat there, we saw a bit further down about 30, 40 sheep. So we went down, and then we also saw the shepherd. Oh. That was keeping the sheep. He could know English, and we could know Greek, but we had a good body language. And he was also good in body language. Hand signs. Yes, and movements like that, okay. And cheers and smiles. So it felt very good to meet him. And he invited us to his little cottage that he had just beside the chiefs. And we went inside, and it was dark, no lamps and like that. But it was on the day, so we could see what was in that cottage. And the first I saw was that it was hanging from the roof. There was a small package in leather that was filled with sheep cheese that he made in that out of cottage. Sheep milk. Yes, that's right. And he kept it there until it was ready, and then he sold it. Have you tried it? Yes, he offered both cheese, and he had some homemade bread, and it was a very nice moment. He had cigarettes that he offered us, Greek cigarettes, strong ones. Strong ones. And when we sat there talking, ultimately, he understood that we were from Sweden, not Switzerland, that he thought first. But when he understood that we were from Sweden, he shouted, Olof Palme.
Olof Palme.
And that Palme was one of our prime ministers during that time. And Sweden had helped the resistance movement in Greece during the military junta. And it showed up that this shepherd had been one part of the resistance. So he knew Sweden and he knew Olof Palme because they had helped him. That was one thing. And then he pointed at the tree that the cottage was made of.
Okay.
And said that that tree was coming from Sweden. And he was very proud of that.
So there are so many links to Sweden.
Yes. So we sat there maybe for 2 hours or something, and then he showed us a shorter way down to the way where the buses stops.
Okay.
So we could come home quite well. That was a fantastic day.
Oh.
And
Nice.
with no understanding of each other's languages, but still we could understood each other. That was also learning. That was a good day.
So again, about my memory, another one which I have been enjoying was my first job. It's actually my first job in my career was in UK as a store assistant in Tesco's, a supermarket chain. Because I went to UK in such a young age. Before I worked anywhere in Sri Lanka, then I went there and I got that opportunity to work there. And yeah, that was one of my memories. Also, after I came back to Sri Lanka, the first job in Sri Lanka also one of the highlight reels in my career.
Yeah.
So as a marketing executive in an educational firm, so I was earning a little, and I actually away in Sri Lanka from my hometown. I was doing my job in the main city, and I was boarded at a place along with some 8 or 10 other boys in a room. I was having a room, so we had good time there also.
Yeah.
Sometimes early in the month, when we get the salary early in the month, we get boozed and drink, have some parties, and middle of the month we are just very controlled with our expenditures. And before end of getting the salary again, at that time we are like beggars. We are like, oh, nothing. We have to survive with 1 week or a few days or something like that. It was really nice. I learned a lot.
Not saving any money.
No, happened to be not because it was a low salary job because I was starting. But it was quite good. I learned about the society and people and on the job, and then I went on building up my career. So that was one of my highlight reel as well in my.
Did you make any friends that you still have contact with?
Yes, of course. I have contact, but I at the moment not contacting them. But still, they are in my Facebook list and my contact list.
Okay.
But yeah, still they are there. So it was really nice. We from that context, I have been visiting their homes as well. It was really nice to have such a period of learning, starting my social life and career. Yeah, that was one. What's next in your list?
Well, I think of quite a dramatic story where I saved my little brother's life.
Wow. Okay.
And that was his experience too. We were out in Europe, also this type of traveling with train for a month, but this time we choose Scotland as a goal. So we came up there and we went to an island just up in the northwest part of Scotland, an island called Isle of Wight.
Isle of Wight.
It was known for it had a village with a quite good harbor for sailing boats, and we came to this village, but the goal was what we call it hostel house.
Hostel house.
On the other side of the island. So we had to go over the island, and it was quite a cloudy and rainy day. But we went away, and it was a trip for 4 or 5 hours. So it was quite a long trip, and up and then down. But we went away, and halfway there was a river, not too big, but it was forceful, maybe 2-3 meters. So we throw all our luggage, backpacks and that over to the other side, and I put myself as stable as possible in the water in the middle and help my becoming wife Anne over to the other side. That went very well. And then my little brother, he was 14, 5 years younger. He started and he slipped on one of the stones in the water. So he fell down and was going away. And it was just a second, grabbed his hair and dragged him back up until he could feel the ground under his feet. Okay. So he was stable, and I held him by the hand, and Anne on the other side reached out her hand so he could take it. So he came over. All right. And then it was my turn, and then that was going well. And then we just lay down on the riverside, exhausted, because that was a frightening experience. Thinking of the experience you were. Yeah, and to the story is also that just 20, maybe 30 meters downstreams, there was a waterfall. So it could have gone really bad. It's like in a movie. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's like a movie. Okay, that's great. But that was also a thing I can imagine. That tightened me and my brother. Yeah, that's, together. That's great. For the rest of our life. You have saved your brother's life. Yeah. Anyhow, it could have been a bad accident. Yes, which you would have regret for all of your life. Yes, of course. But it went well, and the rest of the trip on that island was superb. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Right. Coming back to mine, I would like to share my foreign trips experience, which I've been where. I've been mainly, yeah, of course, UK. Been here and there in UK, not everywhere, but of course, that was a nice experience. And I've been into Spain and UK for business trips, like from the office, from the company that I work. Okay. How old was you? This was like in 2014, 2013 times, so I was like around 27. Yes, and then I went to Thailand, Malaysia. Thailand trip was also good. We enjoyed. That trip was actually granted by the same company for the whole team to just they offered us a trip to Thailand to enjoy for whole week. We enjoyed a lot, and then Malaysia and Dubai, Maldives, and the unforgettable